Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. We're going to be bringing Don out and getting the show started in just another about 2 or 3 minutes. Give everybody a chance to get settled in. A reminder that, as always, this is a free show. Do not feel obligated to tip. But if you'd like to help support Don and help him feed his family, there's going to be links going in all the chats in just a moment for you to do so. Thanks for your patience. We'll see you soon.
Hello, everyone. Hey, welcome. Look at you all. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So it's Thursday night, and tonight we're partnering with the Bull Run, one of my favorite venues in the world. It's in Shirley, Massachusetts, as I have said many times, at the intersection of nowhere and nothing. It's my rural community out there. So I'm going to just tell you, those of you that are new tonight, how this works, how it's going to lay out. First of all, I want to thank everybody that's watching on the Zoom platform. Hello, nice to see you. And then also, those of you on YouTube, which we decided YouTube is over there. Hello, YouTube people, anonymous as you are, welcome. And then over here, Facebook people. And those of you on Facebook, or those of you that have Facebook, if you would share this on your Facebook pages, the more the merrier. We really reach a lot of people that way. And if you well, let's start with that. And so this is the way the night's going to lay out. I'm going to introduce George, who runs the Bull Run. He's going to talk about it for a little while. Then I'm going to come back out and play till about a little before 8 o'clock. And then we're going to have a guest poet. Our friend Michelle Richardson is going to do some poetry for us. Take a 3-minute break or 4-minute break, and then I'll come back and play till about 8:25 thereabouts, and that's essentially the end of my part of the program. And then but then we have an after party, and we have a lot of wonderful people at our after party. We have Raymond Gonzalez and my friend Paul Sanchez from Oregon is going to stop by. So we get to chat and sing a little bit and go a little song circle, and you're welcome to hang around for that. So that's kind of the layout of the night. We do like to unmute people. So Brandon, can you make sure that everyone can unmute themselves? Those of you that are new, here's the thing. Any sound that you make is as loud as the performer. So you have to be in a quiet place. That means like a squeaky chair or anything like that is interruptive of the show. But if you're in a reasonably quiet place, like let's say you're in the state of Maine, it's quiet there. You can unmute yourself, make sure your phone's not going to ring, and don't worry about it. Brandon will mute and unmute you, if it's necessary. But we like to have as many people unmuted as possible. So go ahead now. Let's see how many we can get. So George, that's good. You're unmuted, and let's just get some more. There you go. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So now we have 9 or 10 people, and this is so that I can feel like I'm interacting with the audience, right? That's really the goal, right? And so remember now, any sound that you make is noisy. Picture yourself in a church basement with a very strict pastor, and if you open up a bag of chips, it's a big problem. Okay, so just try to remember that. But in order to test this out, I'm going to count to 3, and when I get to 3, I want all the people that are unmuted to laugh like I just said something funny, so we can see how this feels. All right, so 1, 2, 3, go ahead and laugh. It's already shaping up to be a great night. So here, those of you that are new, the protocol is be quiet while the performers are performing, and then yell and do whatever you want in between, okay? And it's okay to laugh and all that. So welcome. We'll try to make this as interactive as possible. So now I'm going to introduce my friend George Tachi, and he is going to talk to you about the Bull Run, one of the most extraordinary venues that I have in all the places I've played. So let's welcome him. Everybody give him a nice round of applause.
All right, George.
Thank you. I hope my dog doesn't bark. Yes, as Dawn said, some of you know me as George from the Bull Run, and in fact, that's who I am. And I've been running the Bull Run for quite a while. The Bull Run is in Shirley, Massachusetts. We are a restaurant, but we're also a function hall and a concert venue. We do great live comedy, music, everything from local to international and national touring acts. Of course, we're on a bit of a hiatus right now due to the pandemic. But we hope to be back by summer. We're starting up slow with local acts now, and summer, maybe summer, but by fall for sure, we hope to be back. Excuse me. So please go to bullrunrestaurant.com if you don't know us, or even if you do know us, and check us out. Don't go to bullrun.com. You'll hear all about the Civil War, and we've all heard enough of that for now. So go to bullrunrestaurant.com and check us out, and you'll get any information in the news we have. And I have one more thing I want to let you know about. The Bull Run, the building itself is a pre-revolutionary tavern, beautiful old building with a double fireplace and an egopantis. If you don't know what that is, ask when you get there, and anyone will be happy to tell you. But it's a pre-revolutionary tavern, but it was purchased by my father-in-law in 1946. So in May of this year, we're going to be celebrating our 75th anniversary for it being in our family. So we'd love for you to be a part of that. We're going to have all kinds of promotional materials and just fun with maybe some concerts. Some of it will be live streaming. Some of it will be in-house in the restaurant. Just lots of fun and games and things. So check us out, bullrunrestaurant.com, and be a part of it. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys again. It's been a while. And now, without further ado, I'm going to give you back to Dawn.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
All right, so let's play some songs and, try to pretend like we're all together. I was on the highway, I was cruising along. Decided to put my seatbelt on. Minute later, baby, would you believe a Big Mac truck crashed into me? I told the policeman that I was okay. He said your seatbelt saved your life today. The ambulance driver, the EMTs, they all started singing this song to me. They said it's a great day to not be dead. Shoo-doo-wah, shoo-wop, shoo-wah. To not cave in your windshield with your head. Cave in your windshield with your head. You're a ugly man, but if that occurred, believe me, you would be even uglier. And it's a great day to not be dead. Shoo-doo-wah, shoo-wop, shoo-wah. Later that evening with my family, we were sitting on the couch, we were watching TV. There was a drive-by shooting on the 6 o'clock news. They fired 15 bullets at one poor dude. He took one on the finger, one on the shin. The other 13 all missed him. So we called him up at the hospital and we sang to him over the telephone. We said, hey, it is a great day to not be dead. Shoot-doo-wah, shoo-wah, shoo-wah, and then not have a bunch of bullets in your head. You know what wonderful luck you've got. The guy that tried to kill you was a terrible shot, and it's a great day to not be dead. Shoo-doo-wah, shoo-wah, shoo-wah. All right, so this next verse will tell you how old this song is, because this next line is pretty close to being a nursing home line now. You pretty much have to be old enough to be in a nursing home to relate to this, but let's see how we do here. All right? The next news story on my TV set was that guy whose wife brought a knife to bed. Do we remember that guy? What was his name?
Bobbit.
Mr. Bobbitt, that's right. Nursing home residents, very good. One hour later, as the story goes, a part of his anatomy was laying by the road. Well, my sassy wife looked over and she smiled at me. She started singing this song, tell me, she said, hey, it is a great day to not be dead. Shoo-doo-wah, shoo-wah, shoo-wah, and none of your wife bring a knife with her to bed. Shoo-doo-wah, chop, chop, whoa. She said, I yell, I scream, I complain a lot, but at least I haven't cut no body parts off, and it's a great day to not be dead. Shoo-doo-wah, shoo-wah, shoo-wah, you know, not cutting body parts off is a pretty good quality in a wife, really, when you think about it. If you're with somebody tonight and you've been with her any length of time, and you're still put together anatomically the same way you were when you first met, I don't think it's inappropriate to say thank you. Oh, look, we're having little tender moments in the squares on Zoom tonight. That's right. I thought about my car crash, my close call, and then I started getting sentimental. I said, I love this house. I love you guys. I even love my rusty old car outside, and I'm so happy to be alive with you. Let's do all the things we always said that we would do. Let's go to the bull run and get one of those prime ribs, because it's a great day. It is a great day. It is a great day. It is a great day. It's a great day to not be dead. Ta-da.
Woo! Great job! Woo!
And the crowd goes wild. The crowd is going wild.
Yay!
Look at my little army here. So let's. Although the rest of you guys, you know, don't be afraid to unmute yourselves. I like hearing it. I put up with a little noise rather than be performing just to a computer screen here. So go ahead and unmute as much as you can, as long as it feels all right to you. Let's play a couple more songs. I've got $300 bills that are all brand new. They are begging me to think of something cool to do. How about I'll take you downtown and spend them all on you? I don't want to stay home tonight. We have worked so hard for so many years, built a home, a life, a family, and 2 careers. Saved our money for the future is here. I don't want to stay home tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home, can't stay home. I need you and me, how it used to be. Every week on Friday night, there is so much history that only we can see. Can't stay home again tonight. Michael, Johnny, Richard, Ruthie, and Joan all had bouts with cancer last year, you know. If cancer was a man, I would punch him in the throat. I don't want to stay home tonight. 'Cause time isn't sentimental, it doesn't seem to care about your plans or your hopes and dreams. It just keeps track of your minutes and wipes the slate clean. I don't want to stay home tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home, can't stay home. I need you and me. How it used to be every week on Friday night. There is so much history that only we can see. Can't stay home again tonight. Well, I know we can't party like we did before. Can't stay out till 4 in the morning no more. But the house is paid off and the kids are all grown. What the hell have we been working for? Let's take a nap, take our inhalers, take a multivitamin, and then go out to hear some music with all of our friends who didn't die from the way we used to party back then. I don't want to stay home tonight, 'cause time isn't sentimental, it doesn't seem to care about your plans or your hopes and dreams. It just keeps track of your minutes and wipes the slate clean. I don't want to stay home tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home, can't stay home. I need you and me. How it used to be every week on Friday night. There is so much history that only we can see. Can't stay home, can't stay home. I can't stay home again tonight.
Woo! Yeah. Hey, good.
But guess what I'm doing?
No,
I'm singing songs to my computer. That's right. So I have two people that I know from my time in Maine are here. This is their first time, I think, coming to these concerts. So I'm going to tell a Maine story. So one of the things about telling stories in this format, those of you that are on Zoom here, I need as many people unmuted as possible so I can hear what's going on. Don't, if it's gonna be noisy, then we'll deal with that. But as long as I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's pretty good. Just so I can feel like I'm telling a story to a group of people. All right, so I'm going to tell you this story about Maine. I want my friends Dave and Janet to hear this story. So my wife and I moved to Maine in I guess it would have been 1980. Something like that. And prior to that, we had been hitchhiking for 3 years. That's right. You're looking at somebody who's raised a family now and built a career and all that, but started out with his girlfriend hitchhiking around the country. That's what we did. And the first house we bought was at a place called Stickney's Corner. I think that's the name of it. It was amazing. Stickney's Corner had a liquor store, and Dave, you got to tell me if this is true later, but I understand that in order to get there, it wasn't a liquor store, it was a variety store, but in order to get their liquor license, would not just sell beer and wine, they threw a party for the town with free alcohol so that all the people in the town would vote to get their license. But that's the story I heard, but I don't know. We lived right there, and the house that we lived in, well, first of all, we moved there, and we didn't know anything about Maine, and the people who lived there, they didn't like us. They called us Flatlanders. You ever heard that before?
Yeah.
Like a flat, I didn't know what it meant, but now I know what it means. It means you ain't from here, you ain't ever gonna be from here, and don't try to act like you are from here. That's what it means, right? And so, but first I thought they didn't like us, but later I realized that we became entertainment for them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there was a pool going, how long is it going to take for these? Who's got January 15th for these two hippies to freeze to death in that house, right? That's what they had going, right? And that's the way it was. And then also, they were kind of mean to us and make sure that we knew that we weren't from there, but they were also very kind and generous. I don't really understand it, but I recognize it. It's kind of a Maine thing or a country thing, right? And so the house that we lived in had no running water. This is before we moved to the hill. This is when we were on Stickney's Corner. They had no running water. They had a two-seater outhouse. My mother and father have had many opportunities to be disappointed in my decision making, but the two-seater outhouse was a bridge too far for them. they really couldn't handle it. It was too much for them. They couldn't deal with it. My father kept saying to me, when you were little, I dropped you on your head, and I never told anybody about it. You look like you recovered well, but now I think there was permanent damage there. This is the way you want to live. This is what you want, And they would stay at my house until they couldn't stand it no more. And they were not going to go sit they were not going. They would go to a restaurant. They'd go like, we're going to a restaurant. We'll be back, and they would go and leave. But anyway, that's the way that's the life that we had there, and it was lovely and wonderful. And our neighbor across the street, his name was Wilbur, and he used to torture us about being Flatlanders. Torture, just every day, But he also, he ran a hose under the culvert under the street so we could have running water. I mean, we had a little baby and no running water and no money to buy, using regular diapers and washing them in buckets, right? That's right. These are my roots, people. These are my roots. And so, so he was very nice to us, but he just loved to rib us about being Flatlanders. And so when my son was born, he was born in that house with a midwife. So, my son was born in a house with no running water in 1980, two-seater outhouse, and with a midwife in the house, right? And so the price, the cost, prenatal, postnatal, and the delivery, I can't believe this when I think about it. The entire bill for the whole thing was $400. That's right. You're looking at a person who had a $400 baby, right? It costs $400 to talk to your doctor on the phone now, doesn't it? Like just for 20 minutes, right? And so when he was born, we brought him over to Wilbur. We're like, Wilbur, you can say what you want about us, but this is a Mainer. He was born in that house, and he was born in Maine, and he's a Mainer. And Dave and Janet, this is not going to be anything new to you. I'm sure you've heard it. But the rest of you people, this is what he said to me, and I've never forgot it. It was one of the funniest and kind of one of the meanest things I've ever heard in my life. And it's truly a Maine thing, and it shows you the cutting edge sense of humor of your old-time Mainer. We go, this is a Mainer. He was born in that house. You can't call him a Flatlander. And he said, well, if your cat crawls in the oven and has kittens, you don't call them biscuits now, do you?
Oh my God.
Oh, like Wilbur, that.
Awesome.
Wilbur, that's some mean shit right there, buddy. So, I got a job. That's really what I want to talk to you about. I got a job for the minimum wage. Like I had no marketable skills. All I had done for 3 years before that was hitchhike. I was an excellent hitchhiker, but I kept looking in the the Waldoboro newspaper, and there was no want ad for hitchhikers in there. My skill set was in no demand at all, right? But I got a job in Waldoboro. In a nursing home, and that's what I want to talk about. So at this time of my life, I would wake up every morning, my heart would just be racing with anxiety over how I was going to survive in this world. I had no skills. I didn't go to college. And I had this baby now, and I didn't know how I was going to be able to feed it or take care of it. My heart would race from the time I opened my eyes till I went to sleep with fear and trepidation of the future. And I'd have to hitchhike down Route 220. Didn't have a car in the snow. I'd be out there with my eyes peeking out and just snow blowing everywhere. And I'd hitchhike to the nursing home in Waldoboro. And it was one of the most important things that ever happened to me, because I'm selling my house now. My family is grown, and I'm reflecting on how I got here. I got to be a guy who's got a few dollars in the bank and whatever, starting out this way, and how impossible that looked to me. And so when I got this job in this nursing home, I was at the beginning of my adult life, trying to figure out what kind of man I'm going to be, how I'm going to survive in the world. And I was surrounded by people whose stories were ending, right? It was such a fascinating juxtaposition. Like, I'm stepping into my adult world, and there's 100 people that I have to deal with every day who are stepping out. Their stories are ending. And I was just drinking it all in. If you live this kind of a life, this is what it looks like at the end. If you live this kind of a life, this is what it looks like at the end. And it was all kind of going in there. In one corner of the building, there was a man, his last name was Bishop, Mr. Bishop, and he was the saddest person I've ever seen to this point in my life. I'm 64 years old. Can you imagine how many sad people I've seen in my life? He was the saddest person. And the reason why he was so sad is interesting. He was not he was at the end of his life. He wasn't going anywhere except from the bed to the ground, right? But he was so sad because he wasn't. I wasn't a murderer. He didn't do anything evil. He just wasn't kind. He wasn't a kind, generous person. And he was smart enough to know at the end, when it was too late to do anything about it, that none of his memories were going to give him any comfort at the end. He would have given me, I think, his whole life savings if I could have sent him back for a month to just spread I love yous around so that he could hold them in his hand at the end, but he couldn't, and he knew it. And he was tragic, like Shakespearean tragic. He was tragic in my mind, like Macbeth is tragic. You know, there was just this dark cloud of sadness over him, and I hated going in his room. On the other side of the building, there was this Maddie Campbell. She was 89 in 1978. I think it was 1978. So this was before the 80s. It was in the late 70s. In 1978, she was 89 years old, right? And in her room, the sun was always shining. Like, I thought she had a southern exposure. I thought that her room faced the south, but it wasn't. The light was coming from her because her life was, 9 decades or almost 9 decades of generosity, kindness. Put some soup on your buckboard, drive it through the snow, feed your neighbors if they're sick, stay overnight, make sure they have a warm fire, and she looked back at her life, and it just gave her peace, and she didn't need to change a single thing in it. And so here I am trying to figure out what kind of life I'm going to have, and I'm looking at this guy at the end, just big cloud over his head because he wasn't kind, and this woman who, like, so bright you can't even look at her because all she was kind, and it was just like going in. And so Maddie Campbell adopted me. She adopted me. Like I would get my work done in 2 hours, janitor, right? And I would pull a chair up to the side of her bed, and I would just tell her my problems. I'd complain to her, which I feel bad about it now. Like, I'd be complaining about having to hitchhike down Route 220 to a woman who didn't see a combustion engine till she was 40 years old, probably, right? But, I did it, and she would just listen to me with her eyes closed. You know how the elderly will listen with their eyes closed like that? And she would just listen, and I'd complain about how hard my life was, right? And then she'd open one eye and say, "Are you sure you're being honest with yourself?" Right? I would muster some feeble, response, right? And she would just wave me off like this, like, go think about that. I'm tired. Just try to figure this out for yourself. Come back tomorrow. And she was funny. Like, I would have loved her even if she wasn't funny, but the fact that she was really funny really actually helped me. And in fact, when I was cleaning this house out, I found a poem that I wrote for her. I'll have to dig that up and read it sometime. I would come in to read her poetry and play my guitar for her, all that. But she was funny. One day I came in and she handed me a piece of paper. I go, "What's this?" She goes, "It's my epitaph." And I opened it up, and inside it said, "Here lies Maddie. She had 1,000,000 ills. It wasn't those that killed her. It was the 500,000 pills."
I want to tell them.
And I just loved her. I just adored her, and she would just very gently give me this wisdom that was born at the turn of the century in one of the harshest, coldest environments, where survival in 1920 in rural Maine depended on the availability of moose meat and the kindness of neighbors. And her wisdom was born there, and she would just hand it to me gently. And little by little, my heart started not racing so much, and I began to think that even somebody like me, who wasn't making great decisions at the time, might be able to manifest a life that he could be proud of. Right? So I'll give you one example, then I'll wrap this story up. well, I was complaining to her about how much I had to borrow money. I had to borrow $400 from my dad. I didn't want to do it. I knew he'd give it to me, but I needed to pay my $100 rent when my house costs $100 to rent, a house with no electricity. I needed the money for that. And I was saying, Maddie, I'm so sick of people helping me. I just don't want to be like dependent on people. I want to be able to do this for myself. And she said, it is your responsibility to let the people who love you help you. And I said, no, it is not my responsibility, Maddie Campbell. And she goes, how do you feel when you're in a position to help somebody when they need help? And when you love somebody and you're able to help them, how does that make you feel? I go, that's different. And she goes, no, it isn't. It's not different. She goes, do you like that feeling? I go, I love it when I'm able to help somebody that I love. She goes, then why would you deny the people who love you this feeling that you love so much? I'm telling you, I was probably 20 years old then, and my head just popped. I could feel synapses in my brain being created to accommodate like a new piece of information that I assure you I wouldn't have come across until I was 50 years old. And she just fed me these little pieces of wisdom, and it was one of the great relationships of my life at the most important time. She was on her way out, and I was on my way into adulthood, and she was on her way out, and we just crossed like two lines in geometry, just meeting for this one moment in time and heading to opposite ends of infinity, right? That's what we were. And then she died. And man, I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken and alone. I was like, man, nobody's gonna be able to like I'm gonna have to put on my big boy pants now. Nobody's gonna be like waving me off and telling me to think about it and handing me wisdom. I gotta figure this out for myself. And that night I had a dream. And in the dream, Maddie was in the dream, and she called me over, and she had her hands cupped like this. And when I came closer, she opened her hands up, and inside of her hands were thousands of sparkling diamonds. And I knew it. I knew it in the dream. I knew it at 20. I knew exactly what was happening. Every moment in your life where you do the kind thing, or where you do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because you want something back for it, every one of those moments gets compressed into a diamond. And Maddie Campbell last gift to me was to show me the thousands and thousands of sparkling moments of a life well lived. And she was showing them to me not so that I could see how many there were, but so that I could see the look on her face of contentment at the end of her life as she gazed upon these moments that helped her to make sense out of her life, gave her peace at the end. And it was a tremendous gift to me. Like, it didn't really happen. It was a dream. Let's try to remember that, okay, everybody? But it meant something to me. And in this dream, she called me over and said in my ear one sentence, which I've thought about all my adult life, especially when I was on the edge of making a decision that could have gone either way. She said, and I want to just let her speak through me. Maddie Campbell would have been 130 years old now. So you have no chance of meeting her, and I think it's a nice gesture on my part, or it's something I like to do, to let her speak to me, because I'm the only person who could do it now, right? And she said, she called me over and she said in my ear, in the end, the person with the most diamonds wins. Ta-da!
Woo! All right, Maddie Campbell. Johnny White.
All right. What do you think of that, Dave? Not bad, right?
No, not too bad.
Was that at Fieldcrest?
It was Fieldcrest. I forgot the name of it. Fieldcrest Manor, right, in Waldoboro, right?
It was a hellhole. It's where I got my CNA training and my first CNA position, and it got better, but still not good enough to stay open. But they used to have the lineup after the meals. That people would go, assembly line. I'll tell you about it some other time, but.
All right, here we go. I know a wife and a husband. They had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16, you won't believe what he did. He smoked a lot of marijuana. He snorted cocaine too. Told his parents he was gonna drop out of school. The father pounded on the table. The mother hollered and she screamed. They ran him down to the doctor. Doctor, what does this mean? He put them all on Prozac, right then and right there. He said, you'll still have your problems, but now you just won't care. He prescribed a little therapy, some supplementary drugs. but he didn't write a script out for a little more love, just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better, see a little more love. I know a wife and a husband, and they had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16, you won't believe what she did. She said, I'm sleeping over Susan's. Well, that was just a big fat lie. What she really was doing was staying out all night. And when her parents found out, they cried boo-hoo-hoo. And then they called the radio talk show. They asked him, what should we do? He said, send her off to boot camp. That was his advice. It was good for his ratings, but it wasn't very nice. Just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better, see a little more love. I can see that you're a tough guy. You won't be pushed around. You are not gonna take it, Mr. Bishop. You're good at putting your foot down. You might get killed by lightning. You might get hit by a truck. But if you are not that lucky, you might just wind up spending years in a rest home without a whole lot to do. But look back on what you did with the time God gave you. Just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better. Big, rough, tough guy to see a little more love. It might look a little better, see a little more love.
Yeah.
The crowd is totally going wild now. I don't know how to control all these holidays. All right, so here, those of you that are on YouTube and Facebook, if you want to come over here in the Zoom part of the program and yell at me in between songs, you're welcome to. We'll put the Zoom information in the chat, but you're welcome to stay over there anonymously if you so decide, if you so desire. Those of you on YouTube, you can be like in the witness protection program over there. Nobody will know where you are. And then over here on Facebook, you can be watching cat videos. I know you're watching cat videos while I'm trying to sing over here, but that's okay. I don't mind. It's all good. But you're welcome to come over here join us in the interactive part. So let me see who's here. I just want to kind of figure it out. Look at you all, my word. So we got representatives here today from California, from the state of Maine, from Joe Cowan. Look at him, he's here representing Massachusetts here. New Mexico, Tim Mason is here. Paul Sanchez from Oregon is here. Wow, the Nebraska is in the house. So thank you all for being here, and those of you that are there. I'll play a couple more tunes, and then we'll have our poet do a little bit, and then we'll see what happens after that.
There's say on the back of your guitar.
It says, "Call your dad."
Oh.
I know a wife. No, let's see, not that. Our kids are grown. They're both in their 20s. They live at home. They are never gonna leave. And why should they go? They've got it good here, you know. Their food, their phone, their rent is free. They would have to be out of their minds to leave. But I was thinking, what if things were different? You know, living here at home with you and me. What if we decided we could act like They both did when they were in their teens. So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I have got the key. Let's steal our daughter's car. And we'll both get really drunk, and we'll put a big dent in her trunk. And we'll drive real fast down the thoroughfare. If we get a speeding ticket, hey, we won't care. We'll be the ones up all night acting wild. And they'll be the ones up all night worrying. Wake up, mama, climb out of this window. Come on out and be 16 with me. Picture our kids calling all of our friends up and then asking them if they know where we are. Of course, all our friends will lie. They say they ain't seen us all night, but we'll be standing right beside them while they're on the phone, smoking and drinking and carrying on. And when we come strolling home on Sunday morning, you know, around 10 o'clock while the neighbors walk to church, our kids will ask us where we've been, and then they'll ask us again, and we will just make up a great big lie and swear that it's the truth until the day we die. And they'll be the ones who are trying to find the truth out. We'll be the ones who are lying through our teeth. And under pressure, we'll confess that we had unprotected sex, and that will gross them out so much they might just start to think about moving out. If turnabout is fair play in this life, and what better way to encourage them to live than to give them both a dose of what it was like to live with them when they were in their teens. So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. You know I have got the key. Let's steal our daughter's car. 'Cause we'll both get really drunk. We'll put a big dent in her trunk. And no one will know where we are until we come home in a police car. We'll be the ones up all night acting wild. They'll be the ones up all night worrying. Wake up, mama, climb out of this window. Oh man, be careful. You're not as young as you used to be. That's 40 feet down there. I should have brought a ladder, probably. You know what? The kids are both drunk and passed out. Let's just go out the front door. Come on out and be 16 with me. All right, so Brandon, I'm gonna play Two Vagabonds if you want to get that set up for me. So
Gotcha.
we're having a lot of feelings here. We actually just pulled the trigger on this house now. We weren't sure if the people were gonna buy it or not, but we've been in this house 31 years, and as of today, the sort of last hurdle for financing for the buyer happened. So this house we're probably gonna be in just a few more days. And so it's quite a moment, you know. And so we went out for coffee this morning. It's the one thing that we do. We go out for coffee, and when we came back and got out of and we pulled in the driveway. If you were walking down the street and you were able to witness our emergence from the automobile to the upright position, first thing you would have noticed is low moaning animal sounds because we make sounds now when we go from the sitting position to the upright position, like like that. And so if you were walking by and you saw us moaning and complaining because we had to go from sitting to standing, you would have been right to assume what you were seeing what is commonly known as an elderly couple. Right? That's what we are. We're an elderly couple whose bones hurt and who need. So if you saw my wife, it would be fair to say that you were seeing a older woman who needs a knee replacement. But I have to tell you, and I've been thinking about this a lot, I can't see her that way. I've been with her since I was 16 years old. And to me, she's beguiled my eyes. Like my eyes can only see her 19, hair down to her ass, standing in the sun on the on-ramp in New Mexico in the middle of a 3-year hitchhiking adventure with a sense of freedom that nobody can experience, where we had no place for months and months and years, no place to go back to, no place to go forward to. What kind of adventure is in front of us? Let's go try that out. And that's what I see. My eyes, I can only see that. And so here's a song that I wrote actually after we got off the road and lived in Maine, and when we were thinking about having to contain our freedom into day jobs. Like, I couldn't believe when I came off the road hitchhiking that I had to listen to what some boss had to say to me. Like, it was inconceivable to me. I'm like, what? Like, I have to listen to what this guy's telling me? Are you kidding me? I could just hitchhike out of here. But no, I couldn't. I had to live in that house and figure out how to find some plumbing and a $4 an hour job, right? But anyway, this is for her. I'm so glad to have spent my life with her to this point. Our kids have turned out good. We're saying goodbye to this house, looking for a new adventure. So this is called Two Vagabonds in Disguise. Didn't I know you in 74? You were wild, you were out of control, hitchhiking far and wide for 10 months at a time, sleeping by the side of the road. All day long you would walk, hiking boots, Birkenstocks. You lived on black beans and rice. The wind in your hair, my friend, the freedom you knew back then still can be seen in the eyes of a waitress with 2 kids at her side. Didn't I know you in 74? You were wild, you were out of your mind. Ram Dass and Alan Watts all night in truck stops, your poetry on highway signs. The road was your teacher, then sleeping on beaches and reaching for things in the sky. The wind in your hair, my friend, the freedom you knew back then still can be seen in the eyes of a watchman with 2 kids at his side. When it's midnight, I work the graveyard shift. Daylight, I sleep, you watch the kids. No time, you are ironing your uniform. Midnight, you return, leave the engine on a kiss, a hug at the door. A long time since 74. I left a note for you, a few things we need to do. It's hanging up on the wall. It says power bill must be paid, both the kids have been bathed. Your brother from Florida called. And round and around it goes, where it goes no one knows. Put your feet up for a while. There is wine in the fridge, I'm late, give me a kiss. You know, in your slow-moving smile, I still see that vagabond child. Didn't I know you in 74? You were wild, you're out of control, hitchhiking far and wide for 10 months at a time, sleeping by the side of the road. The road was your teacher, then sleeping on beaches and reaching for things in the sky. The wind in your hair, my friend, the freedom you knew back then still can be seen in the eyes of two vagabonds in disguise. When it's midnight, I work the graveyard shift. Daylight, I sleep. You watch the kids. No time, you are ironing your uniform. Midnight, you return. Leave the engine on a kiss, a hug and a sigh. Two vagabonds in disguise.
Sweet. Love it.
Ta-da!
Love it.
What a great photo. Who took that?
That was taken in 1975 on the road in Amarillo, Texas. That's right. So, okay. So this is what's going to happen now. I'm going to introduce our poet. I assume she's here. Let me see. Yep, she's here. So, but before that, she's going to do some poetry for, 5 minutes or so. Then we're going to take a break. It's not really an intermission. It's just a chance to sort of pass the hat, really, for me to splash some water on my face. So this is a free concert. But if you can drop a few bucks in the hat, that would be great. So we have Venmo and PayPal. And those of you that live or are old like me, and you can't figure out how to transfer money through the mysterious internet, we'll put an address up there, and you can mail me the check. That's right. Send it on the Pony Express to me, like that. And we'll give a hunk of it to the Bull Run to help them stay alive, and we'll take whatever's after that, and we'll buy groceries. You'll be helping out the grocery bill here. So. But before we do that, and then I'll come back after that and play till about 20 past, 25 past, and that'll be the end of my part of the program. So we've been instituting a sort of introduction of poetry into this thing because my world has been equally dispersed amongst comedians, poets, storytellers, folk singers, musicians, and I really like bringing my poet friends in here. So the person I'm going to introduce you to is not just a great poet, but she's a great community activist. She ran a thing right down the street from here called Den City, which was the most impressive open mic I've ever seen. It was mostly all young African American and Spanish kids, and I was like the old weird white guy down there, but I couldn't stop myself from being there. I just always wanted to be there. It was on like, I don't know, what would you call it? Some sort of, it was on poet time, right? So it always started an hour late, and people would be there, and she would walk up to the table and say a sentence to you like, the sun shines sideways on Wednesdays, and then you'd have to write a prompt about it. So, and then people would get up and read their prompts. And then, so it was like as free form as you could be, but then it would be music, and all these rappers and kids, like would start out with somebody singing, right? Or someone starting a beat, like off a computer, just getting a beat going. And then all of a sudden somebody would come up with, like one of these amazing women would just start belting out a chorus and make it up. And then a song would take shape. And then there would be a break and somebody would get up and rap a verse, and they would freestyle a verse. It was like the most creative, explosive thing that I had ever seen, and I couldn't, I always wanted to be there, but it all happened because of Michelle. Michelle is just a person who empowers people, and I just have such a place in my heart for her, and I'm so glad that she's here. So I want you to unmute yourselves at least for a second and give a nice round of applause to my friend Michelle Richardson.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone?
We're
All
doing
right.
How is everyone doing tonight?
good, Michelle.
Green there.
Listen, I don't know what to start with. I don't know what to do. So many emotions like whirlwinding inside of me right now. Um, you know, Don, I gotta say, this isn't the first time I heard the Vagabonds in Disguise. And every time I hear that song, it takes me to a day at the hospital. I was working at the hospital. I worked in the emergency room. I was the admin. I was the one that would check you in when you came into the emergency room. And an older couple came in one day. They were in their early 90s together. They were both in their early 90s. She had Alzheimer's and dementia, and she had the oncomings of the catatonic behavior. She would move, and this was part of the problem why she was there. She had fallen, and she had hit her head, and he would call her his bride.
Mm.
And when it came time to take her to get her vitals, she was unresponsive. She wouldn't respond to anything you said. It's like you weren't there. And like sometimes her movements were passive, like she just kind of moved like instinctually or whatever, but she wouldn't respond to you, when you spoke to her. And there was one point where the nurse was trying to get her to turn, and she wouldn't move, and she was slender, but she was like a brick house. She was solid. And the nurse couldn't get her to move. She said, "Come on, dear, come on, dear." She was trying to get her to move, and there was no moving her. She was like a statue. And he said, "Come on, bride." And he put his hand on her, and it's like she came to life. And immediately she looked at him, and he said, "We got to move now." And she just looked at him, and she moved. And I never forget that, because that for me was, I don't know, such a pure version of love. And that picture that you posted at the end of the song, that just, there's a lot going on in the world right now, a lot of movements. I think if there's any movement that I would love to see, the movement of love, you know, that's what the world needs right now. That type of love, like you and your wife, Dawn. Um, the two of you have stories for days. That woman is incredible, and I wish I spent more time with her, and just had more conversations, because she's just amazing. And to all of you here, we take so much for granted. We take so much for granted. There are conversations that need to be had. There are understandings that need to be achieved. There's bridges that need to be crossed and gaps that need to be filled, and we're wasting time on things that don't matter. So I think love is is everything. So if anything you take from me tonight, let it be to love, you know, kind of blindly, just spread it, just give it randomly with no picking and choosing, no eeny miny mo, just give it to everybody. Whether it comes back or not, it doesn't matter, you know. It's it's necessary to start a movement of love, because the world is thirsty for it. The world is hungry for it. And we each, if you're in this room and if you're part of this right now, if you're watching this from on YouTube or whichever platform, if you're in the Zoom right now, if you're here, you're a different type of person. Just the fact that you're in here, that you get everything that's going on in here, you're a different type of person, you're a different type of soul. And you're the types of souls that bring forth change. And you do so by example. You don't got to do nothing more than that. It's like the best promotion is word of mouth. The best solution is love through every kind deed and act you can possibly do. Never at a detriment to yourself, because we have to be mindful of that as well. But yeah, just everything that I've seen and heard tonight, it just all revolves around just having a faith and a belief that love will get you through anything.
Michelle, I love you a lot. I appreciate you. Do you have a poem you could do for us, or?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And this poem is, I think, perfect. It's called Leaves, and it's about a leaf. I think leaves are absolutely beautiful, and the fall is my favorite season. So this poem is called Leaves, and it's from the perspective of a leaf. Getting to it right now. Okay. As I sprout into the world, I feel my body unfold. I'm as green as an emerald. People stop and behold. They stop to admire the beauty of my birth and that of my brothers. They marvel at our greens and of our flowers, their colors. Seasons pass and winds they blow. Warm summer nights are our favorite, For on these warm nights, we marvel at the beauty of the evening sky. We gaze at the stars and we watch clouds go by. The summer's now gone. Autumn breeze takes its toll. My green slowly fades and my family grows old. There goes my brother. Morning breeze took him from me. There goes another. Oh, the pain that I feel. Why should this be? Why only last a few months and then wither? Why not be like the pines and never die in the winter? Here lays the fruit of next year's spring blossoms, but next year I won't be, for my time is near. My end now comes. I feel my stem breaking away, and as the autumn wind blows, and as that famous song says, nobody knows. And nobody cares how it hurts to see man kill nature with no respect for our precious worth. Am I not nature? Nature am I. And although I lay yonder, stature have I. Look at my color and that of my brothers, for even in death we bring light to your eyes. For you marveled at my birth, now marvel at my departure, for even in death beauty have I.
Bravo, Michelle. Oh, man.
Thank you,
Beautiful,
Michelle.
beautiful.
Oh,
Thank
Michelle,
you.
you're raising the property value here pretty significantly, my friend. So I know you're in your car. Hopefully, you're not stuck in traffic or
No,
whatever.
I'm not. I'm parked. I have one more thing to do this evening before I head to my humble abode.
If you're around 9 o'clock, pop in and we'll get you to read again, okay?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, let's hear it again for one of the great human beings on planet Earth, Michelle. All right, boys and girls, we're going to take a 3-minute break. If you can donate a little something to help out the bull run and the grocery bill here, that's great. Those of you on the other platforms, if you want to come and join us, I'll be back in 3 or 4 minutes. I'll play till about 8:25. Then we'll have an after party. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you soon.
Arlene's called. I'm gonna call her back.
All right, welcome back. Here you go. It's good to see you. Thanks everybody who was able to donate and those. Welcome, welcome. I want to say hi to my friends over there on Facebook and all that. Shire McGuire is over there somewhere. Shire, if you can figure out how to get over here in the Zoom so I can look at it and talk to you, that would mean something to me. Tim Mason's here. I know you're shy and all that, but boy, I would love to see you. All right, so thank you, everybody. So here's a couple tunes here. This one's I'm gonna send to Kara. I know she likes this one. It's for all my old hippies out there. Jenny's grandma went to Woodstock back in 1969. She keeps her ticket stub and a chunk of mud at her house in a little shrine. She was always the girl in the hippie dress twirling at the shows by the Grateful Dead. If you ask her about it, man, you better sit down. Grandma will talk the ears right off your head. If you get her talking about the Grateful Dead, Summer of Love or the Kool-Aid acid test. Jenny was always in her glory when she could hear the stories from her grandma's hippie friends about peace and love, taking care of one another, how great it all was back then. And that night she would dream of being on the bus with Kesey, seeing Jimmy in 69. But when she wasn't dreaming, she always had the feeling that somehow she'd been born in the wrong time. You know you should have been 20 in 1969. All the gray-haired hippies say that all the time. But the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are living on the beach in Montezuma, Costa Rica, having all kinds of fun singing. There's only 1 minute, if you're not living in it, it's never coming back again. Love you, Grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, be there then. It's gonna take a big leap of faith if you really want to find your tribe. Those were the first words Jenny heard in a song that she found online. And that summer she drove all the way to Minnesota to the Shangri-La Festival. And there they all were, all the people like her who grew up believing that they were all alone. They said, hey girl, welcome home. Because the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are driving on the road all the way to Minnesota, having all kinds of fun singing. Jimmy and Jerry are dead and buried and they're never coming back again. Love you, Grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, be there then. Jenny's grandma went to Woodstock in 1969. Since then she believed there was never going to be a better time, and that's alright. But if you don't take your big leap of faith, get out there and find your scene, it will pass you by while you are trying to find your grandma's long gone Woodstock memories. Her Woodstock memories. While the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are living on the beach in Montezuma, Costa Rica, having all kinds of fun singing. There's only 1 minute, if you're not living in it, it's never coming back again. I love you, Grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, be there then.
All right.
That's the voice of Neil Braverman. This party's just getting started now. I know Neil Braverman's in the house.
Hey,
Neil.
Yay, good to see you all.
So I'm going to talk to somebody. I just saw that some people that I know, or they don't know, some fans, or some people that come all the time are watching on I think Facebook, and they're from Minnesota. So in that song, it talks about the Shangri-La Festival. And if you're in Minnesota and you know any young people who feel like they missed the 60s, you ought to tell them to go to that festival. It's put on by a band called Wookiefoot. And it's like Woodstock miniaturized. Like peace and love, but they only allow 3,000 or 4,000 people at it. And it is the you know, so cool. My daughter turned me onto it. Like, you know, so remember that the Shangri-La Festival in Minnesota, they couldn't do it last year. But if you know, keep an eye on it. And the band is called Wookiefoot. Look that band up, Wookiefoot. It's all peace and love, and everybody get together and do it. But they're doing it on a manageable scale. You know, they learned the lessons from trying to cram a million people onto one little patch of what used to be a cornfield or something.
It was an experience.
That's the thing I would say to all young people, and Michelle is a great promoter of this too, and that is, don't let anybody tell you that you missed anything. Your time is the best time that's ever been. Just enjoy it. Don't let old people tell you that the door got closed on the cool stuff. The cool stuff is happening now, but you got to go find it. It's underneath the surface. It's not, everybody isn't doing it, but it's a good time to be alive. All right, so I'm gonna play two more songs. The first one here is I'm thinking about my mom now that I'm moving and everything. So this is a song that I wrote. It's called "More Alive," and it's I don't know what it's about, but I've just been thinking about. The longer you live, the more loss you have, more of everything you have, more trouble, more good stuff, but definitely loss. I remember my grandfather. He was 80-something years old, and he was sitting in the basement. He had a little desk down there, and he had a picture of all his brothers on the wall. And he told me the name, how old they were, the day that they died, and Arthur in 1963, he had cancer, like that. And he was educating me onto how if you're in it to be in 90, that you have to get good at losing people and coming back from loss the way that the people you lost would want you to. Like if somebody is gone and they can't squeeze the juice out of any more minutes, if they could speak to you, they would tell you to get going, get busy living, because they don't get to do it anymore. So send this out thinking about my mom. I lost my mother, I lost my father. Well, I really didn't lose them. I know exactly where they both are. It's not like they went for a walk, took a wrong turn and both got lost. It just hurts less to say I lost them than to say they're dead. Betty May is 82. She's having more fun than me and you. All she wants to do is laugh and sing. She's the biggest flirt I ever seen. She still flutters those baby blues like she did when she was 22. So much mischief in those eyes. I never seen someone more alive. More alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all that sorrow and that trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. When my mother died, I was so smashed up inside. I was crying like a baby. I thought the pain might kill me. And Betty said, son, you won't believe how many loved ones I buried. My father, sister, my brother, son, my husband, and my mother. And every time I lose a friend, I think I'm never going to laugh again. I lay around and watch bad TV till this feeling comes over me. And then I put some music on. I play my favorite song, dance around my living room like I did when I was 22. To shake loose of that pain inside on the day when I decide not only will I survive, I am going to be more alive, more alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. She said, go ahead, feel your pain. Watch bad TV for days, but when you're ready to come out and play, you come see Betty May, and we'll put some music on and play your favorite song, dance around my living room like we both were 22, and shake loose of that pain inside on the day when you decide not only will you survive, you are going to be more alive, more alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, in time they can make you more alive.
Beautiful, Don. Awesome.
Love that song.
Love it, Don.
This is the worst comedy show in the history of the internet. I thought you said this guy was funny. Why is everybody crying? Why are all my holograms crying? What's going on around here? All right. So, all right.
Song, Don.
Okay, so let me play one more song and then we'll take just another short break. And if you want to hang around for the after party, if you're new to this, the after party
Yeah.
is something that we've been doing right along. And if we were at the Bull Run, when the show was over, we might some of the musicians might hang around downstairs and play music, or we might let some of the audience hang around and tell stories and be in a circle, and that's what we lost in COVID. But tonight, and every night that we do these things, we simulate it. So I invited a couple of my friends that I really want to share with you. And we're going to talk and sing and have a little song circle and just pretend that we're all together. So that's what's happening. But like I say every week, if you've got a long ride home,
Oy.
go ahead and get an early start, get a head start on it. But the rest of you, if you want to hang around, we're just going to do the best we can with technology to be together. Okay, so here.
You did an awesome job at the Bull Run on your birthdays when I've seen you there.
Thank you, Neil. I miss the Bull Run so much. Like, I wish I had 20 venues like that because it's a nightclub. You can get dinner, you can have a few drinks, but it's not a drunk tank. There's no drunks falling on you. Like, it's a quiet place where you can have dinner and a drink. What a concept.
It's a class act. It really is.
And they're gonna start up doing summer things, and I was talking to George. I may run out there and do something in the field. They have an outside thing this summer. Just 75 people I think is their limit out there, but just to be in front of people, you know, and to remember what that's like. So I see it coming back. I'm not going to jump at it too fast. I haven't got vaccinated yet. I'm still going to be cautious, but I can feel like we're going to come back, and I can't wait to see you. I have hugs for everybody. After the end of the show, it'll be 4 a.m. I'll still be hugging people, and that's the way I look at it. All right, so here's the last one for me for tonight. Well, you know, I might stick one in the after party, but this is another main song. I overheard a man complaining how his 401k was not performing quite how he would like it to. Give me a second. Not quite. As he sipped it, I overheard a man complaining how his 401k was not performing quite how he would like it to. As he sipped his double latte and continued to complain, I thought about that day in 1982. We were living in the shack with the outhouse in the back. If I'm not mistaken, you were pregnant too. We thought it might be funny to count up all of our money and discuss all the investing we could do. We pulled our pockets inside out, pulled our cushions off the couch, stuck our fingers way down deep inside. Then we emptied out the pockets of the jackets in our closet, but not one single penny did we find. So after the realization our financial situation was not conducive to investment at this time, we decided to invest in what we've always done best. We danced around the kitchen for a while, we do the victory dance. When life is such a mess, we don't know what else to do. We do the victory dance. When being penniless became literal to me and you. Well, you can jump off of a building, take a bunch of pills, you can walk around in a trance. But if you wake up in the morning on the right side of the lawn, go on, do the victory dance. You know, I got fired from a job that I've been working at for 20 years faithfully. Oh dear, oh God, oh my, how will I ever survive without a corporation taking care of me? I was so stressed out for weeks I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I didn't think that things would ever turn my way. And then a couple months went by, I began to realize I really hated working at that place, so I started working for myself. I improved my mental health. Now I'm happier than I've ever been before. Oh dear, oh my, oh God, I should have quit that stupid job 19 years ago. I do the victory dance when my life forces me to go out on my own. And then I just declare victory, and I march my army home. There are things you can't control, things you'll never know. Some things are always left to chance. If you're a clerk or you're a farmer, work from home in your pajamas, do the victory dance. When your life forces you to go out on your own, what I say is just declare victory and then march your army home. There are things you can't control, things you'll never know, and things are always left to chance. But if you wake up in the morning on the right side of the lawn, if you're a clerk or you're a farmer, work from home in your pajamas. If your health is getting worse but you can still flirt with the nurse. If you lose your money but you still got your honey. If you lose your honey, but you still got some money. If the world has gone to hell, in your car there is a 2-gallon bottle of Purell. You're stuck in a tiny house with your children and your spouse. If they canceled all your shows and you got nowhere to go, now you're sitting in your room playing concerts on Zoom. What? You wonder what it means to play songs to a computer screen. And across the top are little squares. And all your friends are trapped inside of there. And you say to your friends who are trapped in the squares, give me a sign, let me know you're all okay in there. Someone just held up a sign that said, help me. You wonder what it means to play songs to a computer screen. You know, stuck in a square on a computer screen is just a big metaphor for quarantine. If you lose your money, but you still got your honey. If you lose your honey, Well, you still got some money. If you find it hard to cope cause your kids are all on dope, don't surrender yet. Try not to forget in this game of life we're in. In this game of life we're in. In this game of life that we are in. If you don't die, you win.
You're done. I love that. I love it.
Yay.
Awesome.
Another Thursday night in the bucket. There you go, boys and girls. So, like I said, thank you to everybody who was able to donate it. We're going to give you just another chance to do it again. You're just buying groceries for the White family and throwing a few bucks at the Bull Run for all the good work that they're doing out there in this world. I'll be back in 2 minutes and we'll start our after party. Much love to you all. Much, much love.
How do you do this? Donate.
Hello there, everybody. How you doing? Welcome. Shia, look at you. Unmute yourself so I can talk to you. Come on now. Yeah.
On mic,
I
yeah.
am so happy to see you.
It is so good to finally remember that I needed to tune in.
So how are you?
Several. Excellent. Well, you know, pretending to be excellent. So
Well,
here we
good.
are.
Where do you live? You're not around here anymore, right?
Mount Dora, Florida.
Florida. Well, I think about you frequently. I think, I remember you fondly. I keep an eye on you online a little bit. I can keep what you're doing. Look at that.
Can
Look
you
at
see that?
that.
That's you and I
Wow.
at Passim
Wow.
when you were doing the benefit for Dewey Burns's
That's right.
CD.
Wow.
Thank
Man,
you.
you're so welcome. And maybe someday we'll put some Dewey Burns music on here just to sort of bring people in and out. All right. So we're gonna start our party, but I really am so happy to see you. This is one of the great joys for me is to be able to see and to speak and hear the voice of people that I know so well. You see Tim over there and Shannon there hanging out, and so after the party we'll have a little chat session if you want to hang around. Anyway, we're gonna have a little song circle now. So I'm gonna start with my friend from Oregon. So I'm assuming that he's got all his tech right. This is gonna his first debut on Zoom. This is my job in this world now, is to drag people out of retirement and to make them come into the internet. So I have to tell you just briefly, I've gone many times to something called the Kerrville Folk Festival, right? The Kerrville Folk Festival.
Tim's putting up a picture of him.
So,
What
yes,
is that?
spotlight Tim's picture for a second, would you please, Brandon? Go ahead, do it again, Tim.
Pull it back a little bit.
Pull it back some. All right, that's a shot of Paul Sanchez 100 years ago, right? All right, so the Kerrville Folk Festival is, if you don't know about it, it's in Texas, in the Hill Country, and it's hard to explain. It's like the gathering of all the songwriters who care about songwriting in the world, and they just spend 3 weeks on this, camping out in this place, and you just stay up till the sun comes up, walking from campfire to campfire, listening to great songwriters play, and everybody is it's quite a remarkable thing. And I met many people there, and I've forgotten many of their names, but Paul Sanchez is a person I met there that I never forgot. He was somebody who impressed me so much with his music and his heart. He's just one of the biggest hearted people that I've ever met. And his songwriting, it just puts joy in my life. And so I know he's not playing. I know he's never been online. And I just I spent 2 hours on the phone with him yesterday, making sure he had his tech. So we're hoping his tech's going to work. But I can't tell. I hope my face is revealing how happy I am at this moment to introduce you to my friend all the way from Oregon, Paul Sanchez. Make him feel good now, everybody. Come on.
Hey, Paul Sanchez. Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Hi. How are you doing?
Oh, you got your tech all right? You got your...
I got yeah, I think so.
All right. So why don't you give us a tune, and when we go around a second time, we'll talk a little bit, okay?
Okay. This is called... What?
This is Paul Sanchez's internet debut. I just want everyone to appreciate that.
I am a box marked fragile. I am sitting on your porch, waiting to be opened. It's cold here in the rain. Now I don't mean to complain, but this is not what I was hoping. I can be strong, I know I can. I just need a little help. This box contains a broken man who's trying to repair himself. I am a box marked fragile. My destination is to your open arms. Now I how to feel, but I'm the real deal. Honey, I ain't no false alarm. I can be strong, I know I will. I just need a gentle hand to hold me up until I get the strength to stand. I am a box-marked fragile. I've been around the block, lost and postage due. But if you take me in, the healing can begin, and I'll be as good as new. I'm telling you, I'll be good as new.
Yeah.
All right, Paul. Hey,
All right.
hey.
I am so happy right now, honestly. Like, your music's not, I can't find it online or anything. So we're gonna talk as this goes around one time. But I want Brandon, make sure that you have his information in the chat so people can reach out to him and pick up his CDs or find out what he's doing. Maybe Neil will have him at his open mic sometime, because we're bringing him back into the world. One more time for Paul Sanchez, everybody.
Hey, Paul, you're always welcome at my open mic.
Thank you.
All right, so now what a treat. This is a gentleman that I sort of came up in the open mics with Tim Mason at the Old Vienna, and over years he's just, I mean, he always was, but now he's like really, he's one of the best guitar players and songwriters that I know, and I'm just so delighted that he agreed to come here. He's a guitar teacher, like he's making his living. He's a professor, and he teaches at Salem State, and he also has students and all that. So when you see him play, don't think that you can learn how to play like that after 2 lessons. It's going to take more than that, I think. But this is somebody I'm delighted. This is a fun night for me. This is I'm really thrilled. This is Raymond Gonzalez. Only people whose names end in Z tonight. That's what we're doing. Raymond Gonzalez, everybody.
Raymond, great to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
I've been listening to the music in between and thinking this is really beautiful. The guitaring, the background music. So
Yeah.
And that's Raymond, yeah.
and
That's
there you
Raymond.
are.
There I am. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny. My wife and I hike. We walk in the morning when nobody's around, go to work, sometimes walk at night. When you walk at night, you sort of walk by people's houses and you look in the window and you speculate. Now I can look in all your windows. I can look directly into your living rooms. It's just so easy.
Hi.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right, I'll play a short introduction, then a little tune here. I got lost in a robin song. He took my ears and led me wrong. High above he had no wings. Still I'll listen to anything he sings. It was crystal as a summer's day. Time to plan my getaway. When I heard that golden noise, I was captured by the robin's voice. There's clear water running. It's the sound of April coming, and it hurries to May. And the crow at the gate said, I have been waiting for the long night's fade. Winter came and it froze the ground. You moved your mouth but made no sound. And I see the sun in the red-tail's eyes, and I feel the wind as he moves by. Now what is it the poets say when the sky's afire at the end of the day? Take your love into your arms, 'cause time will only do you harm. There's clear water running, it's the sound of April coming, and it hurries to May. And the crow at the gate said, I have been waiting for the long night's fade. How did I give you the slip? Well, I stole away on a pirate ship, starbound on an emerald sea. One quick turn and I was free. From many years out on the blue, it was hard to tell false from true. One quiet sound in autumn's key moved inside the soul of me. There's clear water running, it's the sound of April coming, and it hurries to May. And the crow at the gate said, I have been waiting for the long night's fade.
Oh,
Beautiful,
Raymond, that
Raymond.
was amazing.
Go Raymond.
Woo!
Really nice.
Thank you, Raymond. That was beautiful.
That was
Keep
awesome.
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practice, yeah.
Yeah. Raymond, just excuse me a minute while I throw my guitar out the window. That's just amazing. So beautiful, so soulful, such a warm sound, such a beautiful song. So glad that you're here. You'll hang around and we'll chat a little bit next time around. Does that work for you, Raymond?
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right, one more time for Raymond.
Hey, Raymond. So great to see you again.
All right, so I'm gonna play a tune, and I won't play again after this, except maybe at the very end. But I wanted to play this for Paul Sanchez. This song is called "That's What Makes You Beautiful." You know it is not your. You were told by your world that empathy and kindness were the kind of things that made a person weak. They said push and grab and fight every minute of your life and trample those between you and what you believe you need. But from the moment you were born, in your heart there was a song you could hear through all those years of fear and insecurity, singing cruelty is always weak, but love and empathy are strong enough to break the chains of selfishness and greed. Gentle is the strongest thing to be. You not your fault that heroin and alcohol made them both too ill to give their children what they really need. But it sure would have been nice to be encouraged once or twice, or to feel safe at night, or have a life with just a little normalcy. But from the moment you were born, in your heart there was a song you could hear through all those years of fear and insecurity. When you feel hatred in your heart, you just remember who you are, and that underneath the weight of hate, your heart cannot be free. Forgiving is the stronger thing to be. It's not the color of your eyes, not your hypnotizing smile. It's not any of the many things that everyone can see. It's the way you always knew what they told you wasn't true. It's how you made yourself the person that they taught you not to be. That's what makes you beautiful to me. A young man's eyes see beauty in what is on the surface, not within. He will walk past what is beautiful to be near the thing that shines. But these old man's eyes find beauty in the story, in the journey. They have seen too much to be fooled by what attracts a young man's eyes. From the moment you were born, in your heart there was a song you could hear through all those years of fear and insecurity. There was nothing that this world could do to crush the love inside of you. Under neglect, abuse, and selfishness, you were caring, kind, and generous. It is the lonely road that brought you here. It's how all alone you persevered. It's the defiance and tenacity of your heart song of humanity. That's what makes you beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful to me.
Oh, Don, that makes it
Love you,
beautiful.
Don.
It's awesome, Don. Thank you.
All right, I'm feeling all peace and lovey tonight. All right, Paul Sanchez, let's talk a little bit. So, how many albums have you created in your lifetime there, Paul?
I think it's about 3.
Well, 3, and the one that we had around here that we just about wore to death, and the whole family is just totally it never left the car. I don't think for 5 years. It's called Home by Morning. Is that the name of that album?
Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah, and so did you say you have a half a dozen of them left at your house or something?
Something like that. I'm almost out.
All right, so I'm recommending, this is a Don White tip for you all. Send Paul Sanchez an email and pick up a copy of Home by Morning. I'm telling you, it'll make your life better. It's just the most beautiful album. I'm sure there's other albums are great, but I'm telling you, this one moved the White family very deeply. So you live in Oregon now?
Yeah, I live in Portland.
Portland, Oregon, and you are retired now. You were a teacher, is that right?
Yeah, worked in schools for many years.
You haven't really been touring or performing or anything. You kind of stepped back from that stuff. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I haven't really. This is my first performance in quite a long time.
Man, you're
not that I'm nervous or anything like that.
You shouldn't be. You sound great and you look good, and I think that we're gonna wind up pulling you into the open mic circuit and pulling you back into the world. The world needs to hear the big heart that comes through your music. So I'm delighted that this worked out. That we figured out your technology for you. So let's do another song before your phone dies.
I wanted to tell you what a pleasure it is to hear you sing. I love your song so much, and the song about being more alive, I've never heard, and that song just means a lot to me.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Coming from you, I'll take that. Thanks.
Well, this is called "The Heart is a Very Strong Muscle." Sometimes a heart shatters apart. Let me start that over again. I'm really sorry. I haven't played this in years. Sometimes a heart shatters apart and falls like a dying star into the night, taking its light, hiding somewhere far away where it looks like it ends to never be seen again, where the fire fades away from view, but it don't disappear. It's closer than near. It's just asleep inside of you. For the heart is a very strong muscle. It just takes a little time. Right now your heart may be nothing but trouble, but soon it'll work just fine. And sometimes a dream rips apart at the seams to where you think you just can't take anymore, but the pieces will mend to start you over again, stronger than you've ever been before. For the heart is a very strong muscle. It just takes a little time. Right now your heart may be nothing but trouble, but soon it'll work just fine.
Oh, Paul, that was beautiful. Beautiful, Paul.
I love that. Heart is stronger than the muscle. I love that part.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Everything that
Thank
Don
you.
just said and more.
Thank
Well, I
you.
have to tell you, that's one of my favorite songs of all time. Like, of all time. It's such a simple song, and so it just penetrates right into my heart. It's just a great one. Thank you. I had asked him to play that, and that's on that album.
I love that.
Home by Morning, which is only a couple of them there. Well, are you ordering them now? Are you calling Paul? Are you sending him an email? What are you doing?
Need his email in the chat, please.
One more time for Paul Sanchez. Oh my God.
Awesome, Paul.
Beautiful,
So great
Paul.
to meet
Beautiful.
and hear you.
All right. So Brian Dozer, will you grab your guitar? Maybe since we got Raymond here and Tim, maybe this could be like an old Vienna reunion after Raymond does this too. Maybe if you're interested, you can play a song for us. Does that sound
Sure,
okay?
sure.
All right. All right. So
Should
Raymond,
turn the lights on.
come out of the dark, Brian. So, Raymond, let's talk a little bit. So, I think didn't you tell me you had like 10 albums or some number like that?
It's 13 actually. I
13
think.
albums,
Yes.
4 of them instrumental. Did you say that?
Yep. 4 of them is guitar stuff.
And you're a teacher at Salem State, but also you know Haley Reardon was your student for all those years, right? Is that right?
And is again.
And
Yeah.
again,
Wonderfully. Yes, thankfully.
yeah, she's the best.
He's terrific. Yeah.
Did you tell me that you just were working with the ghost of Mel Bay? Is that right? You want to talk about that?
Oh, what a segue, Don. Jeez. What a segue. Brilliant.
I'm good at this.
I have two Mel Bay books out, Fingerstyle Treatise and some Celtic tunes. So you can find them on Mel Bay's website. But well done, Don. Smooth.
I've only gotten good at a few things. This is one of them. So actually, it's the son of Mel Bay Jr. that you're actually working with him, or?
It's William Bay, and I don't know if it's the son or the grandson. I'm
I
not
see.
sure which. I think it's the son.
Well, all of us 3-chord people, we owe a big tip of the hat to Mel Bay, man. That Mel Bay book sat around here, and I learned myself some folk songs out of it, and I've never really, I'm still playing them, So that's a noble endeavor there.
They've served you very well.
Okay, people. Go ahead.
I never knew that Mel Bay was a real person. I just associated with late 50s accordion books with really bizarre drawings in them. And back then, hopefully that changed. I'm sure with your book, it's real good, but songs like Vegetables on Parade still occasionally does an earworm. It was very discordant, but I guess it was to get you to use certain fingers. It was, anyway.
So
This is a revelation to me.
Well, see, now you learn a lot when you come to Thursday night. So,
Yes.
Raymond, let's see. So, if people want to pick up your music or to take classes on Zoom with you or to find out what you're doing, they'll go to your website. That's all in the chat now, right?
It is indeed. Yeah, I think I see it there.
All right. So,
Yes.
so thanks for representing the North Shore over here tonight. And would you play another song for us, please?
I would indeed. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
I see that. Was it? I saw Jen there. Where'd she go? Oh yeah, Jen. Her little fella there, her little girl. I had a binky. I thought I got to get me one of those. Between songs might be effective. Might help. Paul playing those beautiful songs might be giving me something to keep me from choking up. This is a tune I wrote on January 5th of this year. When I heard there was going to be a rally, my anxiety level peaked, obviously like most everyone else's did. I knew it was going to be bad, and I was looking for anything to relieve the pressure. So I was listening to the Pointer Sisters, if you know the Pointer Sisters, back from the 70s when they were a jazz group, a phenomenal jazz group. And this is not one of their songs. This is a song I wrote that day, but it has a reference to one of their songs called Little Pony. This tune is called Any Little Light Will Do. Show me the trail of a comet in the night sky, a flaming star that burns and dies, a little hope, just a whisper in the moonlight to cut the dark of midnight. Any little light will do. Ride that little pony right into the rumble. Blow your horn so everyone knows there are notes that pony has discovered. Turn strangers into lovers and cold hearts to gold. You watch the horizon when you're lonely. Your eyes paint the color blue. days that travel on forever, but you know any little light will do. January brings the frost, the winter bird is lost in the cold, in the snow, but she knows. Oh, rivers turn and tumble, fight against the current, constant struggle to reach the sea, rolling over rocks with voices of the maelstrom, but the river arrives eventually, and you watch the horizon when you're lonely. Your eyes paint the color blue. There are days that travel on forever, but you know any little light will do.
Raymond, that is beautiful.
It's
Woo!
funny.
Woo!
Nice job.
Absolutely
Nice
amazing.
job.
That was great, Raymond. Thank you so much. So I really appreciate the energy that you're putting into this world, and so we'll go around one more time. Let's hear it one more time for Raymond Gonzalez.
Beautiful.
All right, since Raymond and I probably first met at the old Vienna, I would guess, or somewhere, Naked City, no, I don't know, somewhere, one of those places. So now Tim Mason's here, he's the old Vienna impresario. So I think I'm going to ask my friend Brian Dozer, who I probably met somewhere in that same time as well, to play us a song. Brian is one of our technicians, and he's a good friend of mine. He's done the sound mixing and mastering on probably 6 or 7 of my albums and my DVDs. He's just a good friend to the community. So let's welcome our friend Brian Dozer.
Hey, Brian.
Woo! All right, Brian.
Thank you. I dressed. Oh, what's that? I dressed up just for today.
Oh, really?
Wearing my best suit.
You always do, Brian.
Looking pretty flashy, Brian.
Yeah. That's, all right. Never mind. I'm gonna play a new. I just picked up this guitar. Look, it's cool because it's like the one behind me. It has a weird triangular hole, which I think is important in guitars to have triangles. But my Gibson, it actually needs work. It's funny how they wear out after 30 years. But thanks for asking me to play. This is a song I wrote at Kerrville one year, way back when. And it has more than 3 chords in it. I noticed Raymond broke the rule, so I'm going to break the rule too. I sit here and think my life is a book. It's missing some words and covered with stains. And the ending is lost 'cause the pages are torn. But it comes out okay anyway. 'Cause I'm just waiting for the moon. She gives all my troubles a name and carries them off to her dark side, and then they never come back here again. I'm in love with a woman whose face I can't see. I keep searching for her, time after time. I injure the ones who get in the way of me trying to make up my mind. I'm just waiting for the moon. She gives all my troubles a name. She carries them off to her dark side, and then they'll never come back here again. I want a soft, tender, beautiful lover. Someone who can really understand. The kiss that will light up my life once again. Feel her curves in the palm of my hand. And I'll say, take me away down to the water. Sing me to sleep and cover my eyes. But I wake up to find no one is there, just me and my daydreaming lies. I'm still waiting for the moon. She gives all my troubles a name. She carries them off to her dark side, and then they'll never come back here again. Yes, I'm waiting for the moon. She gives all my troubles a name. She carries them off to her dark side, and then they'll never come back here again. They'll never come back here again.
Nice.
That was really nice, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was beautiful, Brian. Beautiful.
Nice job, Brian. I never heard that one, man. You're keeping these songs secret from me. Is that it? No.
Nice.
I'm trying not to be too funny all the time.
Those triangle holes.
You
really
know,
help,
pardon me, sir. Your heart is showing. All right, so thank you so much for that, Brian. Brian's a good friend. I'm feeling very nostalgic here tonight. So seems like we're gonna do like the lightning round. Try to wrap this thing up by 9:30, 20 of something like that. But I feel like I absolutely have to have Tim Mason do a poem here. Now it's like Old Vienna reunion night, or Kerrville / Old Vienna. So Tim, you got one you can slam into the proceedings here?
Yeah.
Oh, I expect so. I want to say I am thrilled that you drug Paul Sanchez out of retirement. And I got a request, Paul. If you remember Rattlesnakes for Breakfast, I would love to hear that song. But in any event, a poem. Well, clams, do not go too far. Clams, do not move too fast. Clams, do not do much at all but sit in the slime all day, sucking water into their bellies just to get something to eat. What lazy hunters clams are, not like oysters who make perfect pearls from the gunk between their teeth.
Right, Tim.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Treat, Tim. Treat.
They are excellent in a fisherman's platter, deep fried. I might also add to that. All right, so let's go one more round. Paul Sanchez, don't feel any pressure from that punk to play anything you don't want to. Play whatever you want. this is your reemergence into the world. You are free to do whatever you like, my friend.
Well, this, we'll see if I remember the words to this. I'm sure liking everybody's songs, by the way.
Back at it.
All these talented people. This is called Rattlesnakes for Breakfast, which I haven't played this in years, so we'll see how this goes. If I had my druthers, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd quit my job next payday and put on my walking shoes, play banjo in the morning, swim in the afternoon, go camping every weekend and howl up at the moon. And I'd have rattlesnakes for breakfast, sugar in my stew, whiskey in my coffee, and a dream to hold on to. A billion stars above me to count before I sleep. Rattlesnakes for breakfast and a dream that I can keep. I'd climb up the Sierras, not be scared to fall. I'd ride my bike around town in my cap and overalls. I'd listen to the wind and I'd learn to sing along, without a soul around me to tell me that I'm wrong. And I'd have rattlesnakes for breakfast, sugar in my stew, whiskey in my coffee, and a dream to hold on to. A billion stars above me to count before I sleep. Rattlesnakes for breakfast and a dream that I can keep. Ought to wake up on that morning when the sun comes breaking through the thunder clouds of yesterday into a sky of blue, to soar just like an eagle when it finally learns to fly, to smile just like a baby and never question why. And I'd have rattlesnakes for breakfast, sugar in my stew, whiskey in my coffee, and a dream to hold on to. A billion stars above me to count before I sleep. Rattlesnakes for breakfast and a dream that I can keep. Rattlesnakes for breakfast and a dream that I can keep. That's for Tim.
Oh, Paul. Awesome.
Yay. Thank you, Paul.
Right.
Thanks for asking for that, Tim. That was great.
Nice.
Paul Sanchez, your heart is as big as a barn, as my friend Tony Toledo would say. I'm so glad to see you looking so well. Your smile is just infectious. Every Thursday we're here, and you come. Even if we're filled up, I'll drag you in for a song. But I want my world to know about you. You're all done hiding, okay, buddy?
Okay, well,
right
thank you.
now we've got your iPhone 6 working. So as long as the hamsters are running around inside that thing and it's still going, we want you to make your to come join us no matter what. So thank you so much for being here one more time, Paul Sanchez.
Thank you. Good to see you, my friend.
All right, so Raymond Gonzalez, why don't you wind us down here toward the end here? Thank you so much for being here. Your music is so beautiful, Raymond. It's so warm and elegant, really, and well put together. That last song killed me pretty much. So thank you for being here. I hope you'll feel free to stop by. If you want to announce something, you have something coming up or anything like that. You see how if I can't get everybody in, but I'm always try to pull some people in to at least do a tune and talk about what they have coming up and just try to help everybody out while we're while we're struggling to stay alive here in this world. So go ahead, why don't you give us a tune to take us out?
Thank you, Don. Thank you, everybody, for being here. How nice this is. This is Banjo. Don't leave, please. Don't. It won't hurt you. It's okay. It'll be over soon. I've had people show up to my guitar concerts. The banjo shows up, and they're actually angry with me. So that has really happened. There's all kinds of banjo jokes. Don hit me with one earlier. Here's one for you. How do you know the toothbrush was invented by a banjo player? Otherwise, it would have been called a teeth brush.
That's a good one.
That joke's going to kick in as, we sign off. Anyway, this is a little tune I wrote called Henry's Daughter. It was convenient because it just happens that my wife's dad was named Henry. So that really worked out. Put him in a field, put him in a barn, put him in a bucket of water, put him in a letter written from the heart for Henry's daughter. Tell it to the blackbird gliding on the wind with his eyes of yellow. If you tell him once, you better tell him again so he won't forget. And a rusty nail and a rusty wheel and a rusty boat for leaving. Put him in a pouch with a rusty box for the secret keeping. Fireflies, of course, so bright you can hear them saying, don't drift off to sleep this night for Henry's daughter's waiting. In an empty church in the full moonlight, not a mouse disturbing. The ghosts sit down side by side, waiting for the sermon. And all the ghosts will tell you, boys, there's no sense hesitating. Henry's daughter's love is true, and she is yours for taking. Purple in the lilac tree in the spring is blooming. Banjo strings are set to be ready for the tuning. Every flower in the field in the evening closes will reply to your appeal and grow you up some roses. So pick them in the valley, pick them in the hills, put them in a bucket of water. Here are the roses from my heart for Henry's daughter. Pick them in the valley, pick them in the hills, put them in a bucket of water. Here are the roses from my heart for Henry's daughter.
Wow. Awesome, man.
So much.
Awesome.
Thanks, Don. Thanks.
You picked that thing, I'm telling you.
Raymond Gonzalez, thank you so much, man. Let's hear it one more time for him. It's beautiful.
Awesome,
Thank you.
Thank you, Raymond.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Thanks, Don, so much.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, so let me say goodbye with this one. Like I said, I don't know where selling your house after living 30 years in it fits in the, the list of things to make note of as you hurtle toward whatever is the end. But that's where we're at now. I'm gonna play this one for Marlene and Tom. I know they like it, and play for my wife. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for being kind to each other and for supporting each other. We're here every Thursday. Next week we're gonna raise a little money and awareness for the Me and Lee Coffee House over in Marblehead. Talking to Jeff Bartley, trying to get him online. It's quite a project getting these Luddites in, but I think we might be able to manage that. We'll see.
Good luck.
What's that?
Good luck. I tried to get Jeff to come on when I started my birthday party, and
Yeah.
I just consider every expletive that you have possibly heard, and that is about half of the intensity of his aversion to online.
I know,
So-
but I mean, listen to me. I have a long history with Jeff Bartley. I love him a lot, and we spent 2 hours with him the other day. We got his phone working. He told me it couldn't be done. We got it. So I'm not saying that he'll make it, but I'm saying that I'm like using my, I want him to do it. I want him.
Tell him we're all praying that he'll be on.
I
We
will.
are, and I sent him an email the other day, Don, and because he is now he is doing YouTube, which he refused to do.
I know he's kicking and screaming his way in, but I'm persuasive.
Oh, I know you are. I bet we'll see him next week.
Persuasive, and and I have a long history with him. I see the beauty in that guy, and I want, he may come and burst into flames or not do it, whatever. But so come and be like, whatever, like come and see what happens. We'll see. He may bail out, but we're close to him. And he's feeling pretty good because we got his little phone working there. All right, so this one goes to Teresa. I want to say, Shia, so nice to see you, honestly. I'm glad you're doing well, and everybody else that comes all the time. You have no idea what this means to me. I just love you. All the people watching on the other platforms, much love to you. Much love to you. This is called Away from the Sun. September comes subtle, chill in the breeze. I reach for my sweater. I know what this means. Warm days are not over, but change has begun. Subtle but steady, the world tilts away from the sun. The summer was fruitful, the harvest looks good. Our family prospered like we hoped it would. Our struggles were many, those struggles are done. Come sit by my side while the world tilts away from the sun. Away from the sun. Away from the sun. Most hardly notice, but we know this change has begun. Change has begun. Change has begun. Subtle but steady, the world tilts away from the sun. On a world full of wonder, we spin through the sky, fighting, loving, growing, and wondering why. While a big ball of fire above us looks down, shining warm light upon us as we spin around and around. from the sun, away from the sun. You know, most hardly notice, but we know this change has begun. Change has begun. Change has begun. Subtle but steady, the world tilts away from the sun. Let's spend all the money on laughter and song. Let's dance with these bodies till these bodies are gone. And when it's all over, you will know it is true that my life only had meaning 'cause I got to share it with you. September comes subtle, a chill in the breeze. I reach for my sweater, I know what this means. Warm days are not over, but change has begun. Come dance with me while the world tilts away from the sun.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you,
Woo!
Don.
Yeah. Love you, Don.
Love you back. Thank you, everybody. This has been such a lovely night. I'm so grateful to you all. Thank you. So those of you that are new here, you know, we don't just, if I just hit this button and shut this down, then it just all your screens go white, and we have a very abrupt and stressful reminder of how alone we are in the world. So I don't do that. We all just say goodbye one at a time. If you want to talk to each other, Shire and Tim and all you guys, if you want to just chat, you're welcome to. But so it's kind of a goodbye one at a time thing. How's that?
First, let's say goodbye to Facebook and YouTube, everybody.
Goodbye, YouTube.
Yeah.
Everybody on Facebook and YouTube.
Much love to you all.